Today is June 3rd, 2026, which means it's the 20-year anniversary of Animator vs. Animation. Yay! And since I'm parasocial as heck and absolutely obsessed with this series, I need to celebrate this event in some way, shape, or form. So let's bake a cake! Or not really bake, just 3D model it, but it's the same thing anyways. So my vision for this is like a 3-tier cake with a candle that's shaped like a cursor, like a mouse cursor, and a bunch of the characters just scattered around the cake. Kind of like that. So I went ahead on Pinterest and went on looking for references and inspiration, and I ended up landing on these 3 photos for reference. So I hopped on Blender, imported the 3 images, and then just started modeling the base of the cake. It wasn't that difficult to make. I expected it to be harder, but the frosting definitely, I did struggle with it a bit, but after a while it started to look presentable. I wouldn't say it looked good, it looks presentable, okay? I added in these little circle things and these strawberries for decoration. Now it's time to add some materials onto this and give it some color. What the heck? Okay, so Blender kept crashing anytime I tried adding a material. I spent the entire time browsing through the Blender subreddit just trying to find a solution for it. And after a while, I finally did get it. Apparently, I needed to update my graphics driver or something, but now it's fixed. Now it's time to model the characters. It was pretty easy considering all the characters look the same, so the moment I modeled one person, I could just copy-paste him and change the color, and then boom, I have the rest of the cast. Well, except for Mitzi, but I found a front and side image of her, so it made it really easy to 3D model her. Well, not really, because the moment I finished my model, I just stared at it, wondering if I hated it enough to the point where I was willing to delete it and redo everything I just did. And the answer was yes, so I ended up redoing it, and it looked better in the second try anyways. Now I had to rig the characters because I wanted them to have like silly little poses. But I didn't really pay too much attention to the rigging. After all, it's not like I was ever gonna use this rig again. So I just made a random skeleton, placed automatic weights, and just called it a day. I'm sure my lack of competence won't come back to bite me later. It did. What the heck is that? Now, it didn't bother me to the point where I would remake every single rig, so I just went with it and dealt with the problems. It was a struggle, especially on Agent's model, because the rigging there was horrible. Now, after getting through that hell, all that was left was just a bunch of simple stuff like adding HDRIs, making toon shaders, and just animating the camera. Then came the final step, and it's all over. Rendering. It should be pretty easy. Just press the render button, wait for the footage to render, and you're done. Should be easy, right? Right? It wasn't. Blender kept crashing every second. This is just Blender crashing every time I even looked at the camera. And after that, I was done.